Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know what absolutely drives me nuts about the culture that the left has created? It's a culture where the truth doesn't matter anymore. The only thing that's important is the narrative. It's a culture of dishonesty and frankly, pure cowardice. The left has built an entire political identity on victimhood and racial grievances, because of course that's a whole lot easier than confronting the actual hard truths, right? Narrative building, race hustling, blame shifting, enabling. You know, those are really the core components to the recipe, and now I think we're living the consequences in real time. They're so cowardly, so terminally allergic to honest conversation that instead of tackling real issues, they enable the worst kind of racial grifting. They elevate the liars, excuse the violent behavior, and vilify anybody who steps out of line. And essentially, they've created the perfect breeding ground for false claims, lies, and emotional manipulation. And where we see that happening the most is in the world of police encounters. This Jussie Smollett behavior of lying so you could label yourself as the victim, well, it's happening constantly, and once again, another one of those examples gets fully exposed to the public. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so let's start off with this latest example here out of Miami, Florida. We've got 21-year-old Melanek Clark, who was recently shot by a police officer while operating a motor vehicle. And the moment that headline broke, it was presented yet again as another example of a black man in America being shot indiscriminately by a police officer. More police brutality. The individual's sister then went to the media and said this.
Stopped. We were in the middle lane. He told everyone else to go with his hand signaling that we can go. And then he stood in front of my brother's car and shot him.
She gets in front of the camera and says that the police officer was waving the cars by, and then he just decided to shoot her brother. And instantly, pretty much everybody had red alarms going on. You know, the red flags were everywhere. Why? Really? On a busy street in the middle of Miami? What kind of police officer would do something like that? But of course, in this left-wing culture, where nobody wants to tackle the truth, nobody wants to tackle the behavior of individuals involved. No, they just want to demonize police officers and racist white America because it's a whole lot easier. Everybody bought the narrative hook, line, and sinker. Another example of horrible police brutality. Yeah, you could pretty much get exactly where I'm going with this. What do you think then happened? Video footage of the incident was then released, and, well, can't exactly show you guys all of it due to the nature of the clip, but we'll blur out the worst parts, and you should be able to get an idea.
Two shots fired! Get out! Roll over!
Another case of vehicular assault. The police officer was clearly trying to get the car to stop, and what did he do? He rammed his frickin' car into the police officer, throwing him on the hood and dragging him into the busy intersection. Holy frickin' moly. And you know, it's got me thinking, what if that video had never surfaced? Would her lie become the next moment or instance of viral outrage? BLM marching down the street, burning down buildings, smashing up stores, the endless MSNBC panels, lecturing us and pushing grievance politics? It's out of control. And again, the left has created a monster here. They've created this narrative, this scapegoat, just blame it on racist America, engage in violent felonies, put police officers' lives at risk, physically assault them, don't cooperate, and then when you FAFO, just lie and pretend as if you're a victim of police brutality. Over and over and over again. I mean, this is coming right off the Deshawn Dante Leath case. I'm sure you guys remember that, right? They tried turning his story into the next George Floyd incident. He was a so-called community activist, they told us, who was fatally shot by police officers. Yet again, another innocent man who was taken so soon because America's a racist country. But then the body cam footage came out, and we learned that actually this individual was engaged in a multi-state crime spree that ended with him stealing a cruiser and leading cops on a high-speed chase. They told us it was yet again another American tragedy, another example of aggressive policing. But then the body cam footage showed us Leath assaulting a police officer, running after him, saying he was going to, quote, die.
What's going on, man? What's going on? In the name of Jesus, watch out. In the name of Jesus, watch out. Watch out, get hurt. You're going to get hurt. In the name of Jesus, stop. Jesus Lord, bow down.
Get hurt.
Jesus Lord, bow down. Don't touch me or you're gonna die. Next time you touch me, you're gonna die. Next time you touch me, you're gonna die.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back.
I'm a preach, right? And I ain't trying to be nobody enemy. Right? I'm not trying to be nobody enemy.
We saw the video footage of him tackling the police officer, stealing his taser, then stealing his car. I mean, come on. It wasn't some innocent man who was targeted because of the color of his skin. The guy was a criminal on a complete freaking rampage. But again, nobody waited for that information because the leftoids never let the truth get ahead of their narrative. And they've enabled this culture of pathological lying. You know, just like the whole thing with this Kilmar Abrego Garcia situation, where his wife had applied for restraining orders. She told the courts he was violent. She didn't want him anywhere near him. But then the moment there was an opportunity to spin the story to make him seem as the victim, to start the GoFundMe, all of a sudden Democrats were knocking at her door and she was the main act at all of their press conferences, telling her sob story.
He is a father, a son, a brother, and a proud member of CASA and Smart Union member who has dedicated himself to make our family's American dream reality. That dream was shattered on March 12th when he was abducted and disappeared by the United States government in front of our 5-year-old child. Today is 34 days after his disappearance, and I stand before you filled with spirit that refuses to bring down. I will not stop fighting until I see my husband alive. Kilmar, if you can hear me, stay strong. God hasn't forgotten about you.
This is what happens when your entire worldview is built on cowardice, dishonesty, and grievance. Instead of addressing crime, social decay, cultural decay, just continue enabling the BS and lie, lie, lie. The left has created a culture that punishes the truth and rewards deceit. And I'm sitting here asking myself, I mean, how much more lying do we need to see before people either stop believing everything or people start finally waking up? I mean, we have another hate crime hoax with the WNBA.
Every player in this league deserves to be treated with respect and want to come to work and just have fun. And obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone. And
at one point, you're going to have no more benefit of the doubt left. How much more damage needs to be done? And I think that's really the paradox here, because the left claims that the goal of their activism in these cases is to bring racial harmony. They're anti-racist activists, but they promote this culture of duplicity, lying, deceit, and enabling that's causing incredible racial division. The Democrats are either too scared to tackle the real issues, or they want to continue perpetuating the issues. And so they enable the lies, they enable the culture of victimhood, and they try to uplift narrative above truth. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.